So thought we'd test out the ATEM Mini using an external mic here, and we have the Audio Technica AT-2035, which is a great studio mic. I wanted to see if it'll help isolate the noise that we got going on a little bit from, well, a lot of noise from this from the MacBook Pro mid-2015 fan. I'm not seeing any processes going crazy on this Mac, so I do have a bit of a problem with this. I think it's horrible that the sound is like this, and so we're gonna play around with it a little bit. But this is just basically an audio test. Wanted to see if this mic works a little bit better. I do have another shotgun. It's actually a I can't really see it up here. Let's see if we can give you a little shot of that up into there. Um, no, you just see more of this mic, but there is another nice Sennheiser mic that we can use, a shotgun that might work a little bit better. But we're going to see if this helps with audio, and I'm going to probably pull this camera a little further away or pull it away from this laptop. Last resort, we've got an old Windows machine. We're going to basically ditch the Mac and rebuild that Windows machine to be able to stream, and strictly for streaming, so that we have something that would be viable without this cacophony of noise. I mean, because this is really bad, and something needs to be done about it. Um, it's not amenable to a decent video. As far as the image goes, I think the image quality is great. It's coming out. It's a 1080p feed directly out of the EOS-R, using an HDMI cable going into the Blackmagic ATEM Mini, which is a great little unit. I love the fact that it acts as a webcam. I can use this with Zoom. I can use this with Google Meet, with Skype, and even in FaceTime. So I can use it pretty much anywhere, and right here in YouTube. So that works fantastically. The issue I'm having is with the audio, and that's not an issue with the hardware or the software. This issue with this old Mac. So we're not sure what the solution is going to be. It could be, if we're going to stick with the Mac, stick the Mac route, we would do a Mac Mini. But I want to hear how this sounds first and play it back and see if it's adequate. If it is, this old Mac could probably get dumped underneath down underneath the desk here in the back, and put some foam in the back to muffle the sound and deaden that sound. Right now it's just on a hard desktop, so it's venting and I can hear the fans running. It could be a fan issue. It might need just to be cleaned out. But at any rate, we're going to look into that, test it out, and see what works and what doesn't work. I'm happy with the video quality. I think you don't need any more than 1080p for online videos. Particularly if we're not going to be sitting there watching on a 60-inch TV or bigger. In reality, this will produce more than adequate video quality, and really, it's more about getting the software to work. The ATEM seems to be working fine as a capture card. It works as good as my as this guy right here, which is the Cam Link, the Elgato Cam Link 4K. The 4K, to be honest, is a great capture card. I really like it. We've also used this unit right here, which is the Blackmagic Ultrastudio Mini Recorder. The Ultrastudio is a lot more finicky with pretty much any setup we've had, even using it at work with various cameras there. So initially I thought it was something to do with the EOS-R, and I thought it was something to do with Mac, and it could be just OBS and its quirkiness, but I think it's really this capture card. But we'll make do, and we'll use this in a pinch. This one works better than anything I've tried. It's just instant plug and play. Doesn't use a lot of CPU, and so I'm very happy with it. But I can't say enough about this ATEM Mini. This unit really works well. I mean, it's solid, and when you see this unit, and I think you may have seen reviews and stuff, it's a solid carbon fiber body. It's very heavy, just an all-around good piece, and I want to see how I can get it going in OBS. If there's a problem in OBS, we're going to switch it over and use something else, but But right now, the way we have it, it seems to be working relatively okay. And I'll just use that term. It's just relatively okay. Again, the fan noise is a problem. Sorry, it doesn't work in OBS. It only works in it only works running it through directly to YouTube. So we're gonna play around with it. I mean, we can go live like this too, and I could probably import in a Skype call and that type of thing just by switching cameras. I don't want to automatically switch. We want a picture in picture and that type of thing. So we'll play with those features, but we're gonna need something like OBS to be able to enable that. Could go direct live through Skype. And share screens, but it's not quite the same thing. Maybe a bit better with Zoom. Well, we'll see. We'll play around with the tools. Might have to use one of those platforms rather than OBS, which is shameful. Although the ATEM will allow us to add some effects and supers and that type of thing, and titles and whatnot, logos. So maybe a bit of give and take there until we work out the situation with OBS. But right now, as it sits, OBS just isn't working with a few of the solutions we've tried. Didn't work with the Ultrastudio Mini Recorder from Blackmagic. Doesn't seem to want to work with the ATEM Mini directly. I am going to check with a few people to see if there's something specific that they did and people work, because we've used the Ultrastudio Mini Recorder with OBS relatively successfully. So I just want to see if there's something we're missing in the settings, and then going from there, see if that makes a difference. Right now, the output coming out of the ATEM Mini is a 1080 p24, exactly 24, not the 2398 or 2397 or whatever it is. And so, I mean, that seems to be working fine. But let's see what happens when I think that might be one of the settings in OBS that's the problem. At any rate, let's do an audio check and see how this works. And we're just going to kill the stream here, and we'll catch you in a video or two.